pretty soon you win. Pretty soon you'll win. If you have the courage and the heart and the dedication and the mindset of everybody can go themselves. I know what I know. I've listened to myself enough to know I know what I know. None of you can hear what I'm hearing. And that's what people don't do enough of. They don't listen to their journey. They listen to everybody else's shit.
I don't give a what you think, you know? I don't care what you think about me. I had come from an environment with very little cheerleading going on. And so I created a sort of survival instinct where I would cut people out, you know, and minimize opinions. And the way that I would do that is I had to believe that my opinion was greater than everybody else's opinion around me.
To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts, integrity, purpose, determination, and discipline that it takes to be a champion in life.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy.
The winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. That's reality. And dude, this is something that people just can't get through their head. They want everything to be fair. It is not ever going to be fair, ever. There are going to be people that are better looking than you. There are going to be people that have better genetics than you. There are going to be people that are smarter than you. They're going to have people that have more money than you, or grew up in a better family, or have more advantages, or have more opportunities. So what? Okay, it's your job to assess where are you and then take the action to get where you want to go, regardless of where you start, regardless of where someone else starts. And so many people tell themselves this ridiculous story about all these advantages that other people have, when in reality, a lot of times these people didn't even have those advantages.
You know the one thing you're not doing, you need to be doing that could flip the script right now on your life. Maybe it's your confidence, maybe it's your belief, maybe it's getting back connected to your faith, maybe it's getting in the gym, maybe it's getting out of a relationship, out of a business you're in that you don't love anymore, out of a job you're in. But you truly know, you have an intuition right now, as I said it, what's the decision? And the people that are blissful and happy make the decision. For some of you, it's to really listen a lot more closely to things Brendan teaches about peace. Maybe the decision for some of you is, I've got to take more time to me. I've got to get clear on where my breaks are. I've got to get clear on my peace of mind time. I've got to get more into my self-care. I don't know where on that spectrum of life all of you are, but I know you pretty much know what that decision is. It's whether or not you'll have the courage, because you get clear enough on what you want and you want it bad enough that you will make that one decision.
People have talent. People have a lot of talent. And this is going beyond your talent. So when there's no more talent, what happens to you? Most people quit. People only go to their talent level. And once their talent level is gone, it becomes a mental game. That the whole mental game sets in then. And most people can only perform to their talent. And they realize, man, why am I always messing up right here? Why is this like my big hurdle? It's because you're performing to your talent. And then after that, your mind has nothing for you. Nothing for you. I see fighters, I see runners, I see people who they're great, but they get to the edge of their talent, and it's like, man, what's up? Because you're now at the point now where your talent ain't gonna do shit for you, my friend. Now it's the mental game. And that's where people get lost in life, get lost in that next level. And that next level is found for me in the things that I do.
The biggest difference between people who win and people who lose is that winners expect to win. Winners are not surprised when they win. Like when I win, I don't like overly celebrate, because I expected that to be the outcome. All right. Amateurs, when they win, they're surprised, and then they over celebrate. And like I said, when they over celebrate, they become ineffective because they're taking their eye off the game for way too long, right? Oh, I won the week this week. And then they talk about that 1 week for the next 6 weeks. And the next 6 weeks, the guy who expected to win is still going just as hard. So it's an expectation. That's the difference between winners and losers that I think, in terms of not so much their self-talk, but just their attitude. Like when I set out to do a project, I expect to win. I don't expect anything else than that. I expect to be the absolute best. I expect to win. It's a legitimate, in my heart, expectation. Every winner I know, every one of them, they don't pick a target and then say, man, I wonder if we can get there. They pick a target and then they start thinking, okay, well, how can I get there? All right, I got to do this. They break it down. They take the big goal. They break it down into actionable steps to a daily basis. They execute those steps, and they understand if they execute those steps every single day, eventually you get there. If you go out to dig a hole in the ground and you say the hole has got to be 20 feet by 40 feet, and you got a kid shovel, and you go out there and you start shoveling, it doesn't really matter how much you got done the first day or the second day as long as you kept moving, because eventually the hole is going to get dug. All right. And that's the same thing in goals. It's the same thing in business. You show up every day, you chip away at it, you don't quit, and you keep going, and it produces the result. And dude, that's been my experience. Everything I've ever said I'm going to do has happened because I'm willing to do anything to do it. And I think that's the attitude that's missing amongst most people. Most people just have the attitude of, oh, this would be cool if I could do this. And that's just not good enough.
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood.
Freedom in life to make the choices you want, to someday be in a place in your life where you call the shots, where the world doesn't have their thumb on you or your family anymore, it makes me emotional to the standpoint of I just wish so many people knew how good that feels to wake up free. Because so many people live in free countries, but they're not free. They're not free financially, but they're also not free emotionally because they just have not given themselves the gift of real grace and real love of themselves and real belief in themselves. And so they live in a bondage and a prison in their own minds that they've created. And you can escape that prison anytime you want, you guys. Just unlock it. Just walk out right now. You can walk out of that bondage of your mind of not believing in yourself or being down on yourself or not having a dream again in your life. Not having that thing inside of you that gives you that fire, that want to, that hunger. You can literally just take the key and open the prison gate right now and walk right out of that door into a whole new life. And that's not rhetoric. It starts in your mind. It actually starts in your spirit. And then it moves very quickly to your mind. And I will tell you that in your life, I think the devil, the adversary, the negative vibrational frequency of life is usually in the mind, and the highest vibrational frequency, God, is in the heart. If you listen to your heart, just get a little bit quiet, and you'll begin to have that heart whisper to you that you're born to do something great with your life. You're born to do something awesome, and it is not too late for you. Your mistakes, your past setbacks do not disqualify you. You're immensely qualified.
It all starts in the mind, because the mind, right, leads to actions. Actions lead to habits. Habits lead to lifestyle. So if you want to change your lifestyle, you need to retroactively change your mind. And that's the starting point. That's the catalyst of all things. Everyone is self-made, but only the successful people will admit it. The unsuccessful people will not admit that they created that lack of success. They will blame the big man. They will blame the imaginary thumb that's pressing them down. They'll blame religion. They'll blame race. They'll blame everything except themselves. Every person is self-made. Every single person is self-made because you are a construct of what? Your thoughts and your decisions. Nobody told you that you had to go do something. Nobody told you that you had to think a certain way. And if you did, and somebody told you that, are you a slave? Or are you a free person? And if you understand that you have freedom and sovereignty, now you understand, like you said, you're fully accountable for every decision that you make. And when you're successful, oh, you want all the praise, right? When you're successful, hey, look at me. Look what I did. I'm fully responsible for this. But it's the same thing with lack of success, and it's the same thing with failure. And most people, when they fail, they don't like to look at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what? Maybe I have to change. People want change to happen to them. They don't want to change. And when you realize that change isn't going to happen to you, you need to actually proactively determine your future. Then and only then can you actually take not only full accountability for your good actions, your bad actions, but for your full life.
I'm astounded by how many people want to be spectacular in life, but also want to be normal. By being normal, you are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Exceptional people get exceptional results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and expect to not get what everyone else has got. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
Life is hard. No matter who you are, there are bumps and hits and bruises along the way. And my advice is to prepare yourself. That success and achievement come from overcoming adversity.
It's difficult. It's difficult to have other people criticize you. It's difficult to deal with the fear of uncertainty. But when it's all said and done, you and I are going to be dead. The successes that we've accomplished in life won't matter. The failures that we've accomplished won't matter. So enjoy life. Don't take it so seriously, and enjoy the process of experiencing every potentiality that life has to offer.
Front-end pleasure almost always has back-end pain, but front-end pain almost always has back-end pleasure. Because the thing is that, right, you want to go to the party, you want to you want to go to the club, you want to drink, right? That's front-end fun. Woo, yeah, out here partying and doing all this other shit, especially when you didn't earn it, right? It's fun at first, then you got to wake up the next day with a hangover. Then you got to realize, you got to deal with an annoying girl that you didn't even really like that. You feel like shit. You spend a bunch of money. Upfront pleasure almost always leads to back-end pain. But on the other hand, front-end pain, going to the gym, being disciplined, doing things that you don't want to do when you don't feel like it, but doing it regardless of how you feel, that almost always leads to back-end pleasure. And that's what's most important. You go to the gym, it's a gift box. It's wrapped in pain. It sucks. Oh man, I'm in the gym again. Damn it. Doing, I'm taking sets to damn near failure. I'm eating this boring ass food. I'm eating, counting my calories. This is really boring and it sucks and it's monotonous. But guess what? That front end pain, right? The gift box is wrapped in pain. But if you can, bear through, dealing with the pain of maybe you get pricked with a thorn here or there, but you open it up, it's that back end pleasure. Now you have confidence. Now you have a good physique. You got health. You feel good. That's the most important thing. You're able to look at the man in the mirror and be impressed and be happy with what you see back. Delayed gratification, my friends, is the name of the fucking game when you're a man. You don't have the benefits and the privilege of having a dude come in and save you, a Prince Charming. It ain't fucking coming. It ain't happening, bro.
There have been so many times in my life where I knew I needed to do something, and then I filled all this extra time not doing that thing. And then the moment I did it, I was like, wow, that took way less time than I thought it was going to take. And not only that, it took way less time than it took me to delay to actually get to this point. And if I had only started with just doing what I was supposed to do, I could have done 4 or 5 other things that I was also supposed to do by this exact same point. I've tried to eliminate as much time between I think I should do this thing and beginning doing it. And I think you get this positive reinforcement cycle that occurs every time you start. I call it pulling the thread. It's like, I just need to start pulling the thread. And then all of a sudden what feels really unknown becomes very tangible. And you're like, oh, I understand the 6 problems I have to solve to do this big thing. But now I know the problems, and then it feels like you can wrap your arms around it, and then you can start taking it one bite at a time.
When it comes down to how long can you stay in that pool, when it comes down to how far can you run, when it comes down to how much can you push yourself past the part where you want to quit, how far can you keep going, there's a purity in that it dissolves social order, all that bullshit, what people think about you goes out the window. It's who are you right now?
That's right.
Who are you right now?
We don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are.
Once you understand that most people don't think, you need to do the opposite of what most people do. Most people are followers. And the worst thing you can be is a follower of a follower. That's what most people are. Most people are following followers. I want to follow my conscience. I want to follow my consciousness. I want to follow my decision-making process. I want to follow my morality. And in order to get to these places, I need to discover them. And nobody's going to discover them for me. You go to a church, what, some preacher's going to tell you on a padded pew with the air conditioning who God is, what God wants from you? Why can't you speak to God yourself? Why can't you have a relationship? If that guy could, why can't I? And once you understand that what's available for other men is available to you, you begin to have a real journey towards self-exploration of self.
How does one convince themselves that what they're doing and working on is worth it?
The question of worth it is reliant on an outcome. We don't make these things for an outcome. It's not the mindset to make something great. The outcome happens. You're making the best thing you can make. It's a devotional practice. Whatever happens after that happens.
I've come to realize that the people that win long term are the people that make it so hard to lose that it becomes easy to win. Imagine you just set yourself up for success. You open up your fridge, it's set up for success. You open up your calendar, it's set up for success. You open up your relationship, it's set up for success. You open up your YouTube, it's set up for success. You open up your phone book, your contacts, it's set up for success. People are walking around, brother, and they're setting themselves up for failure. They wake up, they're on their phones till 12 in the bed scrolling. They don't study, they don't learn, they don't self-develop. Imagine you made it so hard to lose that winning was just kind of like inevitable. So set up the systems in your life. If you're trying to lose weight, don't have junk food inside of your fridge, get rid of it. Just have the essentials and the whole foods that you need so that you're not tempted. Half of the battle is the temptation, half of the battle is going through do you know how much energy is expended in the battle of things that you're supposed to purge from your life? Just get rid of them completely. Don't even have them in your mental real estate and focus on making it so hard to lose that it becomes easy to win. People are just trying to make it win, win, win. No, just get rid of the hard shit, your deficits, and the rest will just flourish.